Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Simply Carrie and this is my breast cancer story. So every year I go to the gynecologist for my GYN exams. And everything is the usual routine thing. You get your pap smear and they give you orders to have a mammogram. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe ever since I was 40 years old, I'm 50 now, ever since I was 40 years old, I have been getting mammograms, and I would get my mammogram every year. And everything would work out just fine. Everything would come back negative. There were no problems. I was healthy. So it's 2015 and nothing different. I go in for my annual GYN exam and pap smear, and I get my orders to have my mammogram done, which I do. And this time I was told that something on it was abnormal for them and they wanted to send me for more tests. Now it's now 2020 and I have not really talked about this with anybody, so some of the details are just a little bit foggy in my head. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I was sent again for a second mammogram just to be certain of what they were looking at. And I also do believe that they pulled my other mammograms just to compare. So what I was told was found was I don't know, I guess calcification in the breast, and the way the calcification was, or I don't know, I guess they're cells or something. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so I'm just trying to go based on what I remember them telling me. But the way the tissue was spread out in the area, it looked abnormal to them, and I was ordered to have a biopsy at that point. Now this was close to summertime. I believe it was around May when I had this done back in 2015. So I went in and I had a biopsy done. There was no anesthesia or anything for it. I was laid on a table, the technicians were there, they were able to watch some kind of machine. They took a needle and they stuck it into the breast that had the abnormal tissue in it, or abnormal cells, or whatever they are, so that they could remove some and test it to see if it actually was cancerous. Well, it turns out it was indeed cancerous. Okay, so I got a call from my doctor afterwards, letting me know that I think I had already found out from them. That's how fast it came back. They had already told me that yes, this is cancerous. You're gonna get a call from your doctor. The doctor did call, and from what I remember, he sent me to see a breast cancer surgeon. I believe she was an oncologist as well, but she's a surgeon. So I was told that I had something called DCIS, which stands for ductal carcinoma in situ. Okay, and from my understanding, what that means is I had cancerous cells that were in the ducts of my in the milk ducts of my breast, and they were inside the cells, but they had not come out of the cells and started to spread. So that's why it was called in situ. Okay, that's the best explanation I can give for it. So they also told me that it was stage 0, because it had not gone outside of the cells and had not started to spread. Okay, so they laid out for me what I could do. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe that I was a candidate for a lumpectomy. I don't think that was one of the options on the table, and even if it was, I didn't necessarily want a lumpectomy. The option that was given to me was a mastectomy. So I had the option of either removing one breast or I could remove both breasts. Now, I chose to remove both breasts and just have the double mastectomy because if I didn't, there was a possibility that the other breast could develop the same thing. So if it were gone, then I wouldn't have to necessarily worry about, you know, constantly having a mammogram just to see whether I'm going to get it in the other breast. Another reason why I decided I wanted to have the double mastectomy is because mentally I was thinking I didn't want to have one breast that, you know, one breast is real and then there's one breast that is artificial. So I just decided, you know what, let's just go ahead and get rid of the entire thing. The one good thing about where I was at the time and when it was caught is that they were able to spare my nipples. So I had a nipple sparing mastectomy. So my nipples were not cut off, and I was given implants. Now, before I actually went for the surgery, I was sent to see an oncologist, hematologist, I believe he is. I think he did both, if I'm not mistaken, but he took my blood and ran tests to see if I actually had the gene, because I was about 30, how old was I? I was about like maybe 44 years old. I was pretty young, and they were trying to figure out, well, where'd you get, how did this happen? Was it in my genes? Okay, was it part of my family history? And I wasn't aware of anybody in my family who had cancer, but I took a BRCA test, and the BRCA test came back negative. So it wasn't because of family genes, it was just somehow I ended up with it. So after we did that, I was scheduled for my surgery, and the entire time, how was I feeling? I like anybody would feel when they're diagnosed with cancer, that, you know, am I going to live? But by the same token, it was a stage 0, so I felt really, you know, relieved about that. So I went in for surgery, and my breasts were removed. And let me tell you, that was the most painful of surgeries that I feel I have had. By the time the what is it, the medication that they give you to numb you wore off, and it wore off while I was in the surgeon's room, okay? I felt like they had lit me on fire. That's how bad it felt. I was literally in flames, on fire. And I was begging, please give me more painkillers. Please, I beg you, give me more painkillers. Anyhow, I got through the surgery. I stayed in the hospital. I don't remember how long I was in the hospital for, but afterwards they released me. I was released with bulbs and things inside to drain fluid from me. I was bandaged. I had a nurse to come in every day to take my blood pressure. I can't take my blood pressure from my arm anymore. She was taking it from my leg, which is not a good reading at all. I can't have needles drawn in the arm that they took the lymph node from. So one of the lymph nodes was taken. Let's see, the left breast is the one that actually had the cancer. The right breast didn't, even though it was removed. One of my lymph nodes was removed, okay? So I also had to see a doctor about lymphedema just to measure my arms and everything, because I am susceptible to getting lymphedema if I wear things that are too tight or whatever the case is. I can develop lymphedema in the arms. So there are things that I have to be very careful about with both my arms, but especially the one that does not have the, whatever that thing is, the lymph node in it anymore. So then there was the surgeon. I met with the surgeon prior to me actually having the breast the breast removed. He was not a well, maybe he was a cosmetic surgeon. I really don't know, but he also did reconstructive surgery. Okay, and the reconstructive surgery is nothing like the cosmetic surgery, from my understanding, which I still am like, why? I don't get that. But he initially, when I was able to go ahead and have the implants put in, the implants, and if I'm not mistaken, they may have put them in at the same time that they took my breasts. They put, I don't remember what they were called, but they were some type of, I don't know, fillers, or I don't remember exactly what they were called, but there was something that was put there first before the actual implants were put there. And it was something that every week I would have to go to the doctor's office and have them expanded. So I don't know if they were called expanders, maybe that's what they were, but it was something to kind of stretch the skin out to get, which I don't understand why they would have to stretch the skin out, but it was something to get my tissue to, you know, adhere to it and stretch it out. And I wanted my breasts to stay pretty much the same as the way they were before I went in. These, I feel, are a little smaller, even though I told them I was a 30, I believe I was 36C or something like that, or 36D. This doesn't look like a 36D. But anyway, yeah, so I had that put in. Afterwards, that was taken away, and then I got my actual implants. Short time after the implants, I started to notice them dimple, okay, which they're still dimpling. So I went in several months later to have fat removed from one area of my body to put here to make it smooth, to smooth it out and everything. But you could still see, like if I bend over and I flex, you can see dimples in the breast area. So I still feel that I have to have it redone again, but I am thankful that I didn't lose my breast altogether. I'm thankful that I was at a stage 0 when I found out, and there was something that could be done about it. I was not put on any hormones. I did not have to do radiation, so I was really thankful about that, because there are many people, and my heart, my prayers go out to you if you are going through this, who have to have radiation, have to go under hormone therapy. There's so many things that people are having to deal with. I did see one person whose breasts are just completely gone, and that I know is something that is extremely difficult to deal with. Even with my situation, sometimes if I allow myself to think about it, which I don't allow myself to think about it much, it will bother me, because now I realize there's a part of me that is gone. I will never get it back. The sensation is no longer there. There's a lot of parts of my body that are numb, and I have no feeling in it. I can feel itching underneath like in the back of the breast implant, and all I can do is just kind of hit. I can't, like, the feeling that I used to have, I don't have anymore. It's all gone. And if I really think about it, it can put me into a bad spirit, but I don't allow myself to think about it. I just think about the fact that it was a stage 0, and many of the things that I could have gone through, I'm not going through, and I'm really thankful that I didn't have to go through those things. So I did want to share my breast cancer experience with you, because it is October and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I wanted to share the importance of going every year to get your pap smear, to see your doctor for all of your checkups, and to definitely get your mammogram done every single year, because if you can catch it early, that is the best thing that can possibly happen, okay? And one other thing too, even second opinions. I sometimes feel like I should have gotten a second opinion. The only reason why I didn't get the second opinion is because I didn't want to go through the pain of the biopsy. I kind of felt like, well, if I'm going to go to somebody else, they're probably going to have to do a biopsy again, and that was really painful, and I don't want to do it anymore. So I just didn't, and they're probably gonna see the same thing. So that was my rationale at the time for not doing a second opinion. In hindsight, would I do a second opinion? I probably would go ahead and do a second opinion, because at least you have two opinions versus just one. Okay, the other thing is the treatment. Okay, was it such a good idea to have such an aggressive treatment for me being a stage 0? I don't know. At least it's gone. That's a good thing, and I don't have to do the radiation replacement therapy and all that other stuff. However, would it have been a good idea for me to kind of just sit and wait and watch it and see if it does, what do they call it, metastasize? I don't know. I kind of would, I don't know, but then you have that looming over your head. So it's really hard for me to say right now if I would have done something differently, because once again, you're talking about life and death. You're talking about, I mean, it's a very serious situation. So whatever you decide, guys, I made my decision and I'm just gonna stick with it. But I hope that for anybody who is going through this, that you get through it and with as much ease as possible, and everything goes well. And my heart's out to anybody who is going through any of the other stages, any stages for that matter. But anyhow, I just wanted to share my experience with everybody and let everybody know it's very important to go get your annual checkups every year, and definitely get your mammogram, because you will be saving yourself a whole lot by doing that. All right, so I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed to my channel, I'm Simply Carrie. Definitely hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, take care. Bye.